Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. Well, what do we have here? Besides a bit of a mess. This little critter is Kurt's starter for his 925, at least I'm almost certain. Yep, Super XL-925. And I'm not sure what happened. I'm sure he told me, and I'm sure I forgot 5 seconds later, because that's what I do. But yeah, he sent it here to have me go through it. So I have videos on several types of starters. This family, I don't think I have. My God, what a mess. So at the end of this video, we'll have a nice, good, how do I service my XL700 to XL925 starter video. That rope, I don't mind cutting because it's trash. You can see how thick it is, how swollen it is. Now this isn't wet, but it's frayed and it's too big. Now it still goes in and out of here okay, but if this was to get any wet to it, it would start jamming up in that pulley, and we don't like that. That's not bueno. So let's get the old rope out. Hopefully without too much drama. And we'll just kind of start. Now we're also missing part of the insert cover there, but this is the style that has the metal, and then there was a cover that clipped in there. I may or may not have that on hand. It's not important for this. I can add that later. Alright, so for starters, pun intended, when you get it down to this point, clean it. Now this one's in good shape. But if you get this apart and there's a bunch of greasy, oily crap, residue, all kinds of, take the time to clean it up. And that includes your old, not much left here to demonstrate with, but your shields. If they have a buildup of trash on them, but they're complete, just clean them. You can take some brake cleaner and a paper towel, clean all that trash off, they're good to go. That one's not good to go. And the inner one was completely missing. So, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that goes on top. Okay, so I've got everything I think that I need. Yeah, we've got a piece of rope cut here. But the first thing we've got to deal with is this dirty recoil spring. That's a nice little mess right there. Now thankfully, Homelite did this riveted outer cage. So when they explode like this, you can just rewind them. Now the first few times you try this, you're probably going to be frustrated. But you get a feel for where you need to hold it and when. I'm just putting a new coil in, moving my hand up, holding it, and I'm basically getting half a coil each movement that I make here. Now as the coils get tighter, they actually get easier to work with in terms of holding them in place, but you got to start getting that activity where it's flipping around and it's easy for it to get tangled up. So try to give yourself enough workspace. And again, I'm about halfway there. See? Now if I let go, this whole thing would go zinging again. So you got to be careful and deliberate with what you're doing. This wouldn't be the time to develop a twitch or have an itch on your nose. Bad timing. Alright, see what I mean? I'm starting to lift that up because most of this is coiled up. Now it's not tangled, but if you had coils that were looped over themselves like that, you've got to take the time to get them undone before you put this in, or you've got a hell of a mess. That's why it's nice to have it laid out ahead of time and then have enough room to work it in. Okay, and we almost have it. There we go. Again, the more of those you do, the better at them you get. So, we've got all this other good stuff. This bushing doesn't have a whole lot of wear on it, just has a little bit of magnesium residue. So, take your favorite lubricant, or whatever you have handy, and just clean it up a little bit. You don't want material in there creating more friction than you have to have. And it might be tempting to say, well, hell, shouldn't I just, really jazz that up as I'm putting it together and really hit it with the lube? Well, no, because that's just going to attract more sawdust and trash. That's good enough. Alright. This has the cutout to allow it to fit ever so beautifully. Just like that. Now, you might be looking at this spring going, oh crap, I don't remember which way that it's supposed to go. Because you probably could get it to fit in like that. Now I can look at this and see that there is a relief. It should go this way. But if you have doubt, remember, other than a few of those gear drives from the 50s, Homelite engines are turning counterclockwise, which means when you're pulling that rope, you're spinning it counterclockwise. So you're pulling the rope, it's turning it like that. So obviously, when you've got your starter spring lock on there, that has to be facing so that it'll index the spring and coil the spring, so that you pull the rope and then it zings back when you're done, which means this loop right here needs to index properly with that. So we just figured out our direction. It needs to go in this way. Now this, even though there's that outer riveted area, you can still lose the spring right here, and I'm actually not doing so hot on this. Didn't have it hooked as well as I thought I did. So just kind of work it into place carefully. Looks like this end might be just a smidge deformed. And I don't know why, but it just happens. Come on, baby. It really is fighting with me. Come on. Wow. An annoying thing. What in the bloody... There we go. Spring was catching on the outer edge right there. So you've got to get it down past that inner lip. Okay, it's down tight. Now, we still got some more parts here, and you can make your life really easy or really hard. You can see that there's a relief right here. It's milled out. That is for this little spacer. That goes down to the bottom. So it's a perfect time to go ahead and drop that in place. It's also a perfect time to get this nylon bushing in there. And it should slip down inside of that washer and be just below the post here, the top of the post. If you don't have a tiny little lip there, this is never going to work right. And I just realized the screw to retain this pulley and the washer were not in that box. Okay. So, the idea is the screw is going to retain the washer, which retains this pulley, but it shouldn't be putting any downward pressure on this pulley in order for it to work. And I'll show you as we get this together what can't happen, what won't work. So, at this point, it is a good idea to go ahead and put your spring lock in there. Now what you're going to do is work this inner coil around it so it's in the right spot. And it'll drop, and you can push it down over that steel washer, spacer, whatever you want to call it. Once you do that, it's perfectly aligned so that when you align the pulley, it drops in. There's no fighting. This is so superior to some of the stuff like on a McCulloch where the, come on, let go, where this is permanent retained on the pulley. Man, is that a pain in the ass to get a new spring wrapped around it without the whole thing going gazing, gaboing, gaboom. So, but what I just did, and commonly happens, is I pulled that nylon bushing back out. So I want to get it back into place so that everything's aligned again. So before we go too much further, we can drop our spring shield in there. And that is really designed to keep crap out of the spring, so that there's not junk building up between the coils and contaminants that are going to make it recoil improperly. Already got a piece of rope cut. This spool is labeled 3.5 millimeter, which I think translates to about a number 5. Why they don't correlate better, I don't know. But the reality is, you want to be able to fill the drum, but you want the rope to go in and out of it easily so that you're not wasting recoil spring tension trying to deal with a rope that's too big. And this is a real easy one to fish. Just get it through, pull it out, one knot, but get it up in here. So if you have any part of that that's sticking towards the engine, much more than that right there, this will reach out and grab the starter pole studs, and then you got a nice little mess. You get to do all this all over again and probably replace your rope again. So I like to pre-wind my rope, again thinking about what I'm going to be doing as I'm pulling it. I'm going to be turning it counterclockwise, which means I want to wrap it counterclockwise as it relates to the engine. So I'm holding it in front of me exactly as it would relate to the engine. Alright, now that worked out pretty well. That's what that notch is there for. Hold on to it that way. Look at that. She dropped right in, and we've got recoil action. So we're almost there. At this point, I do like to give a nice little squirt of something, because it'll just lube up that nylon bushing, keep everything happy. Drop your washer in there. And here's the critical test. If you've done everything right, get it tight. That screw cannot be loose. If you've got, alright, see, we've got it right, because it moves. If you screw that down and it's bound and this pulley won't move, there is still something wrong. Something is not right in there. Stop and do it again. Now, this spring has a pretty good tension. So I like to give 2 wraps of tension. And I'm holding this pulley with my thumb now. And with this shield here, it's kind of interesting that you just look for the daylight, and eventually, eventually you'll find the outlet hole here. And once it starts poking through, give it a little more. Alright, now if you want to avoid having a problem, just do your old half hitch. Now you've got a little working room. So again, if this had the pop-out plastic insert, we'd tie it off into that. But since this has a steel insert down there, I'm just going to fish this through. Again, this is a big enough rope. One good knot ought to be enough. Just like that. She'll fit down in there. There you go. So you want this to pull up tight. If she's laying over limp like that, or if it's real easy to pull it there and it stays, you need another wrap of tension. That's perfect. So there you go. That is how you service a starter on an XL-700 all the way up through a 925.